Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on this multiplayer online battle. This is a 2 versus 2 siege. I am the inept general by name and by nature. And let's have a look at my army. I'm playing as Chaos in this battle, led by none other than Sigvald the Magnificent, looking particularly magnificent today. I have 3 manticores, 2 dragon shagoffs, 2 giants, a unit of armored trolls, a wizard of death, and then looking at my foot soldiers, I have 1 chosen halberdier, 1 normal halberdier, which I think is over here. I have, let's get the unit cards up. I have a unit of chosen in the tower, unit of Chaos Warriors in the tower, chosen great weapons, warriors again, and warriors, and chosen. Now, you rarely get a multiplayer siege. Actually, this is quite a bit of fun. And my ally is Clan Angren. He has 2 gyro bombers, a number of, I think these are all Ironbreakers, Dragonback Slayers, Ironbreakers, Hammerers. And he has a few cannon out here as well, along with some Sculdering Guard, Trollhammer torpedoes, 2 lots of them. I'm not sure why my ally would have brought 2 lots of torpedoes against what is essentially a dwarf and an empire army. There wouldn't be much large to go against them. Maybe against cavalry, that's what he was waiting for. And he is led by Belagar. As I mentioned, we are up against an empire and dwarf enemy. And we'll get into what they have. They have a very nicely arranged death box here, but at the time I couldn't see that. And when I picked my army, actually, I had not realized that there was only 1 gate in this siege. Excuse me. Yeah, so I picked all these monsters when I maybe should have picked more infantry to go around the walls and then overpower them that way. But let's kick things off with this battle. So straight away, I'm trying to send in all my monsters, take down that gate as quickly as possible, backed up by my halberdiers in case they charge any cavalry into me over there, and probably my 2 units of aspiring champions as well. Now, they do have a good solid unit of artillery. Let me just show you what they've got over here. They've got mortar. Oh, maybe that's it. But they can do a bit of damage. Fair enough, we're a quite highly armored army. But essentially, I just charged everyone towards the walls, get there as quickly as possible. And I had this flying squad of 2 manticores and my exalted hero. Now, my first thought was, now I've got to the gate, was to maybe try and take out Karl Franz, but I saw these guys here and I thought that would be maybe a mistake, especially with and then there's mortars here as well, and I really wanted to get into those mortars, but these are Demigriff with halberds, all covering their artillery teams. So instead, as you may see, I've set off. I decided to make a nuisance of myself over here, try and deal with their gyro bombers, try and deal with their iron drakes, and maybe these hammerers and these gunners who have all just come off the wall from up here on my side. Now, what I did fail to spot early on, actually, is they've moved Ungrim up here to meet my Chaos Chosen. Now, normally my Chaos Chosen would be able to handle these Longbeards quite handily, but with Ungrim there, they unfortunately don't win that. What I should have maybe have done is held my Sigvald, my general, out here and back up whatever general they put up on the wall. But we got the gate down very quickly. I'm not sure if it's down just yet or about to get it down. Now, unfortunately, it's when we had the gate down. Let's just slow things down a little bit. I was over here trying to chase down these gyrocopters, taking fire from these guys, but I was sort of had my attention focused over here. Now, my exalted hero and my 2 guys had done well, and they come back and harass these 2 Thunderer units, and we eventually try and tackle this other gyrocopter. But I'm really just trying to distract my enemy. But really what I end up doing, actually, in the end, is distracting myself a little bit more. You'll come to see that in a couple of minutes. But I've got my Shag off and my Giant, and that a few minutes ago I realized, like, my god, this is a perfect kill box. Do I really want to charge in all my monsters? But with one gate, there's literally nothing else for my monsters to do. And I figured, okay, let's see if we can just overpower them through sheer numbers alone. So I've got my Aspiring Champions to try and back them up. I'll eventually send Sigvald himself will join this little melee, and this will become the grind fest, but we'll come back to that, and let's speed things up again, shall we? Now my allies got onto the walls, okay. I think they lost a tower, but they're getting good cover on the walls, and these dwarves and Ironbreakers should do well grinding down these greatswords, actually. And they've lined up their gunners here. Now, what he maybe wanted to do here, the Empire players, maybe move at least one of his gunner units up here to reinforce the kill box. Karl Franz is on the move. Just helping out his, just trying to hold off, help out his swordsmen who are almost gone by this point, actually. But Karl Franz is up there.
Stop them!
Now Ungrim's pulled out a little bit, but here we go. This is my my Manticore squad, just trying to make a hassle of themselves, taking on Thunderers, taking on these Iron Drakes, trying to get them to do as little damage as possible to my warriors up on the wall. But taking a beating while doing it, I have to say. And Ungrim joined the fray down here as well, always keen for a ruck. Withdrawing one of my Manticores to try and, or maybe it's fleeing actually. No, I got him up in the air. My Exalted Hero taking out these Gyrocopters and back in on the Iron Drakes. Now here in the grind, let's revisit, shall we? So I sent my Giant to try and kill Karl Franz. Karl Franz did a runner, which unfortunately managed to isolate my Giant, but I thought, screw it, let's get him into the torpedo throwers. But Sigvald himself is chasing up, and he gets isolated at this point, and I didn't realize it. I was still focused on this grind here. Is that my ally or an enemy? That's my ally. And then as soon as Sigvald was isolated there of the Giant, the Griffins with halberds. This is my purple sun. It did some damage to the halberds, I think, but not enough. Actually, a good amount considering. And that's my Giant down, and where is he? Sigvald, hopelessly outnumbered. He lasts a good long time though. I'll give him that, and under fire from these guys here, who we finally get in on. This is just a huge grind here. I am trying to keep these armored trolls back a little bit, as just so that we can grind down these sort of anti-large halberdiers. We at least have one monstrous unit left to do some damage with. And here's my second Giant, also got caught chasing someone. And I'm my Death Wizard is Spirit Leeching Karl whenever he can. We do have brought his health down quite a bit, but he's not going to land unless it's quite safe. And again, Demigryph Halberds will finish off my other Giant fairly promptly. Now my ally has done some great work here. He has essentially decimated the Empire's foot soldiers. So if I slow things down here, so this is all the remnants essentially of the Empire infantry that was guarding the right flank. And that's Sigvald having just died there, unfortunately. Where's his body? You damn Griffin bastards. Anyway, so with the right flank, with their right flank, my left flank, essentially cleared and my ally coming in, we might finally break through this bloody kill wall of slayers and halberdiers they had set up for us. The Aspiring Champions are doing some good work. My own halberdiers are in there. Sigvald unfortunately dead, so my morale took a bit of a hit. And on the walls, my Chosen are still alive, but I think have just broken. Now here, my Chosen with shields have won quite handily up here on the wall, and they'll become important a little bit later on in the battle. But at the moment, most of my forces and his Dwarven forces have ground each other down. I've won in a couple of places, lost in a couple of others. One of my Shagoffs had run away to the back of their map and recovered, and I just sent him in to do some damage against these Thunderers. He'll get a few kills in before he drops. But now they've got their Iron Drakes on the job. That seems like a long shot for an Iron Drake. Hold on. Oh, wow. Have they improved the range of Iron Drakes? Has it always been that? That seems real far. I'm not sure about that. That seems much further than the Iron Drakes used to be. Anyway, that's my Manticore broken. So on our right, we've lost, but they've lost on our left. And so he's trying to help me out, get as many of his units in here as he can to get into this pit, this melee pit. Now the Empire's realized this. He's essentially chucking almost everything he has at us here. This is my Dwarf ally who's come up through here from the wall. The Grumbling Guards, if we could get the Grumbling Guard in this melee, that will help out a huge amount. Now, if you'll notice, essentially this is their last line of defense. If we had any cav or anything else, we could maybe force past this point. But he's got it pretty well covered with his halberdiers here. There are a lot of blasting charges that have been going off in this melee. Making great impression there. The dwarves doing a good job. Let's pick things up again. So essentially, at this point, I've sent in my armored trolls against their hammerers. 2 lots of hammers. See how much damage he can do just to hold them off. I haven't got much left myself at this point. I think I've got my halberdiers, my chosen halberdiers, a few aspiring champions. And at this point, this is just a grind. It's not pretty. It's not strategic. This is just a grind. We have to get past them. And this is all just soft units. This is all missile troops and mortars. There's nothing else they have infantry-wise. Well, they do have those 24, almost 0 health greatswords coming in, but this is the deciding battleground here. This is going to decide it all. I think I have my Death Wizard who's just been hanging out in the doorway here for the longest time, casting spells. I think he's about to run out of magic, or he just has run out of magic. And I'll have to charge him in eventually as well. Let's get rid of the flags. Karl Franz still just getting Spirit Leech whenever I have enough magic to do it. Let's have a look at the trolls here. Oh, the troll's doing great work. Oh, lifting up Slayer, smashing him. Now up on the wall here, this unit, I have a single unit of my chosen with axes hold off essentially what would have been deciding reinforcements for that center battle. And they actually end up, I think, at least bringing this to a stalemate, if not winning this exchange here. And this would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more units, 5 units of infantry troops that were really quite desperately needed in the middle here. Ungrim has joined the charge against my trolls. Thunderers are still firing away. Now, I don't believe I have any units anywhere else. Yeah, it all comes down to that massive just meat grinder over here. Now, Karl Franz joins in, tries to tilt it in favor of his ally here in terms of my chosen with shields. And he's down to, I think he's quite near death at this point. Well, not quite near death, but he's been taking a beating. But my Chaos Chosen is shaken, but they are holding on. Now, I've had a couple of units rout. I've been sending them back in. My trolls routed. They'll take a breather, regenerate a little bit. My aspiring champions are routed, but I'm sending them back into the fray. Mortar shells coming down on them. And here, blasting charges going through the gap.
Dash!
Sorry, zoomed in a bit too quickly there. And Belagar, my ally general, is here doing some great work. A lot of magic effects going on. I think that's just bonuses from people around the area. But let's have a look at health bars. So yeah, my enemy here getting down. Clan Ungren, my ally, still has a lot of good, fresh-ish troops. Fair enough, these are Drakes, these are the Skullgrim Guard and the Torpedo Throwers. But anything we can throw in at this point is saving grace. My aspiring champions trying to take on Ungrim. Let's see how the battle on the wall is going. So Karlfran's got bored and ran off. But my chosen held. They're still fighting. Now just fighting one of the Longbeards. And my Sorcerer of Death just getting in there amongst some Thunderers, stop them firing down on us. And this is when my ally breaks, kind of. So we managed just to break through. They still have some guys holding us up at the door, but I managed to get my trolls straight into all of these gunners and Thunderers. And these guys will panic soon enough. Artillery, gunners, Thunderers, no one backing them up. Karlfrans tries to stop the remnants of my aspiring champions. And Clan Ungren here, the Peakgate Guard, Ekrund Miners, Nordling Ironbreakers, all fantastic units. But essentially my army had been ground down to dust. There wasn't much left for my guys except these trolls doing their good work, just scaring off all of these Thunderers. And a lot of my other guys have broken or shattered. But my ally has enough troops. I really owe it to him. He had enough troops in the end to pull out of reserve and to come and to win this victory. Here are some halberdiers fighting. I'm not even sure what they're fighting. Who are they attacking? Don't know. Don't know who Carl was attacking. My Sorcerer Wizard just chasing down what he can. The Trolls, these guys have all shattered or broken. Shattered, shattered, shattered. All of their missile units in the back. Some of their remaining Longbeards. The Trolls did a good job terrifying them. And at this point, last man standing, as so often is the case, Ungrim. And we have Ungrim versus Belagar versus the Nordling Ironbreakers. And that's about it. Go on, Belagar. You can take him. Did he just headbutt him? Nice move. See how much life he has left? 618 left for Ungrim, but he's the only thing left standing. Duel to the death. My Death Wizard in the background, just watching on. Nice jump there, Belagar. Very agile for a man of your age. And here come my trolls. They turned around from chasing down all those gunners. And they essentially delivered the killing blow onto Ungrim, as he falls there, bloodied and ruined. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that battle. It was a fun one to play. Again, I did make some strategic errors, but I never claimed to be the best player in the world at this game, but did come away with a good victory. And it was a lot of fun. You don't get enough siege battles in the multiplayer in this game. It's usually just open land battles. So it was something a little bit different, a little bit more interesting. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like or leave a comment. And do subscribe to see more of these battles in the future. Thanks very much.